Welcome to Tibalt's Apprentice. We are talking today about Commander. Casual conversation about Commander is what we're intending to have here. We're taking a break from doing those box openings, and we're going to talk about this issue because it was, because last time I was able to play at Game Hub, I got a chance to play Commander with a returning player that was not at all familiar with the game. So I thought it would be great to actually have a video that I could refer them to that might help jumpstart their Commander experience and maybe your Commander experience if you've been reticent to play or not at all sure exactly what's involved in the format. It is a great way to play a multiplayer game. It is a great way to experience big splashy plays that you would never see under normal circumstances. For example, because you have a elevated life total of 40 at the beginning of the game, one game in particular I was able to play 4 Dire Fleet Ravagers, reducing the table's life from 40 to 7 in a single turn. Certainly sped the game up quite a bit. Another play I was able to make quite recently was to be able to put 21 basic lands on the field in a single turn. Of course, the game ended for everybody else next turn because of that advantage that I was able to gain. Doesn't always mean that you're going to win. You are playing with 4 other people, or rather 3 other people usually. So you're taking 1 turn out of 4. So that makes a difference. Anyhow, that's what today's topic is. Hope you stick around for it. If not, check out one of my other videos. So I explained why I'm doing this video. This was a script that was written with some help from ChatGPT. I don't think that's necessarily a good thing. So we're going to embellish what they have here and maybe make some corrections. But here's the script as written by ChatGPT. Hey there, Magic the Gathering fans. Today we are going to dive into the Commander format to teach you how to play this exciting multiplayer game. That's not exactly true. We're just going to skim the surface of what a Commander game is and what to expect when you sit down there. In Commander, each player builds a deck of 100 cards with a legendary creature called its Commander as its centerpiece. The goal is to reduce the opponent's life total to 0 while protecting your own. Well, that kind of touches on it, but not exactly. It is a 100-card deck with your commander in the command zone. We'll talk more about the command zone. So you have 99 cards that you are playing. Every Magic the Gathering game is reducing the opponent's life total to 0 and keeping as many, if at least 1 point of your own. Anyhow, we'll break that down just a little bit more. Let's start with the deck's construction. You can only have 1 card in your deck of each type except for basic lands. There are a few cards that break that rule, but they are not unique to Commander. They are unique to having that instruction written on the card itself. So that still applies whether it be Magic or just a Commander game that you're playing. Your commanders must match your color identity. Your commander must match your deck's color identity, which means the colors of the mana symbols on your commander card determines which cards can be included in your deck. I'm not sure that came out very clear. Partly because the way I read it, partly because that's just a little bit confusing. Let's break it down. Here is a commander card, or rather a card that could be used as a commander. You'll notice that it's green in the pips that it needs to actually cast the card, but you'll see on the card also that it has red and blue. That means you can have a 3-color deck featuring cards of all those colors. Leave below in the comments if you would like me to do more of these and we can actually get into strategies of building the deck. In the meantime, again, this is just a general overview. Let's start with deck construction. Once we've determined the colors of the cards that we can have in the deck, You can only have one of each card in the deck, and they're limited to the colors on the commander card, with the exception, of course, of basic lands. Once you have your deck ready, you can shuffle up and draw 7 cards. Each player starts with 40 life. You start with 40 life in this game, which means you can use it as more of a resource than you might use in a normal game. It's got an extra 20 points that you might feel that you can burn, though when it comes down to it, it is about taking somebody's life down to 0. All the same general rules apply in any other Magic game as in this game. That is to say, you have all of the same phases: untap, upkeep, draw, first main phase, combat phase, second main phase, end step, cleanup, etc. But what is different is that you have a commander in a command zone. It's a unique space that's outside the game that doesn't have any other interaction, unless there's an eminence trigger, but we won't cover that. That's a very specific case. That command zone is someplace where you can put your commander when it is destroyed, when it is exiled, when it is put back into your graveyard or into your hand, or into your library. Any of those times you can then switch it to the command zone if it makes sense. If you're playing a graveyard strategy, maybe you want it to go to the graveyard so you can pull it back. But anytime that would be put out of the game, you could always go back to the command zone. However, if you cast it after the first cast, it is then taxed for each time you have casted this game. So the second time you put it in there, if you have a 3-color casting cost commander, it's going to cost you 5. If it gets destroyed and put into the command zone yet again, you are casting it for the 3rd time, you then have to pay 4 colorless mana plus the 3 original mana. It gradually gets more and more expensive. Another thing to mention about this is to get a deck or build a deck that doesn't revolve completely around your commander. Your commander can be taxed out of existence. If you have a way of getting plenty of mana, that's good. You can keep casting that commander, but to make an impact in the game, I've seen several commanders that just get taxed out of existence to where they can no longer play effectively with the deck that they have. This gets down into the strategy of a deck. A new player, I would suggest, should pick up any commander deck, any pre-constructed commander deck from the last, say, 5 years and have a good chance of playing, though you might want to announce to the table that you are playing a pre-constructed deck. But the ones from the last 5 years or so have been good, have been worth playing for sure. In addition to that, it's easiest to maybe modify a pre-constructed deck as you get more and more into the game. Maybe take out 10 cards as a start. A lot of people use that as a general guideline for building up the deck. But that's maybe a good way to start the game of Commander. The game continues as normal until there is only one person standing. Again, it's worth noting that you are taking 1 out of 4 turns. So it can be a slow game. It can be a grindy game. But again, it's about the big splashy plays that you are going to make. The battlefield may change immensely within those 3 turns before it gets back to your turn again, allowing an element of political play that you don't find in other forms of Magic. This format gives you endless possibilities for strategy, as well as a pool of cards to draw from, which is wider than just about any other set or any other type of Magic that is being played. Leave in the comments below whether or not this video was helpful, whether or not you would like to see more videos along this line, maybe getting into some specifics of strategy as far as deck building goes. If this video was helpful in any way, please leave a like below and comment and give any suggestions you might have for further videos. Hopefully this was of some value to you. Thanks for taking the time to watch Tibalt's Apprentice.